On an otherwise ordinary night of stargazing, a man set out to capture time-lapse images of the night sky, expecting nothing more than a serene sequence of stars. However, what began as a routine experiment quickly transformed into something extraordinary. The man who took the image explained that he had set up his equipment to capture a sequence of long-exposure photographs, hoping to create a smooth and beautiful video of the stars drifting across the sky. The night was clear, and his focus was solely on the technical aspects of the process, exposure settings, lens adjustments, and ensuring his tripod remained steady. It was only later, when he reviewed the images, that the ordinary turned into something deeply extraordinary. The strange discovery was not his own at first. He recalled how his girlfriend was sitting beside him when they began scrolling through the images. She paused, leaning closer to the screen, and pointed out something unusual lingering near the bottom of one of the frames. At first glance, it was faint, almost hidden by the surrounding darkness. But as curiosity took hold, he decided to increase the brightness and contrast to better see what she had noticed. The moment the image adjusted, a shiver ran down his spine. There, emerging from the shadows of the cosmos, was the outline of something vast, an otherworldly figure that bore an uncanny resemblance to a biblically accurate angel. Its form was subtle, yet defined enough to be unmistakable, a symmetrical shape with what appeared to be wing-like structures radiating outward, and a core that suggested a central, powerful presence. The entity seemed to hover in the void, as though silently observing. The man, being religious, admitted the image deeply unsettled him. He had grown up with the understanding that angels were messengers of the divine, beings of immense power and importance. But unlike the soft, graceful figures seen in paintings and children's storybooks, biblically accurate angels, described in ancient scripture, were awe-inspiring, mysterious, and even fearsome in their appearance. This was no gentle figure in flowing robes. It was something far more imposing. In the Bible, such entities are described with multiple wings, eyes covering their forms, and shapes that defy earthly anatomy. These beings, seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim, are unlike anything found in nature, their forms meant to convey both the glory and the unapproachable majesty of the divine realm. He could not ignore the uncanny resemblance between what his camera had captured and the ancient descriptions. The faintness of the image only amplified its mystery. Why was it barely visible? Was it only by chance that his camera, with its specific settings, was able to detect it at all? The thought crossed his mind that perhaps such beings do not appear in full clarity to human eyes unless they choose to. The idea that this may have been a momentary glimpse into something far beyond human comprehension was both humbling and overwhelming. What made the experience even more haunting was the connection to Scripture. In multiple passages of the Bible, when angels appear to humans, their first words are often to reassure, "Do not be afraid," or "Fear not." This repeated message suggests that their true forms are so intense, so overwhelming, that fear would be a natural reaction upon seeing them. The man reflected on this as he looked again at his photograph. If this truly was an angel, then perhaps the very reason it appeared faint was a form of mercy, shielding the human viewer from the full intensity of its presence. He began to consider the implications. Biblical accounts often associate the arrival of angels with significant events or messages, moments where divine intervention or guidance is at hand. Could this have been such a moment? And if so, what was the message, if any, being conveyed? There had been nothing unusual about the night, no strange weather, no remarkable celestial events, yet the image existed, quietly defying explanation. His girlfriend was equally taken aback. They both found themselves revisiting the photograph repeatedly over the following days, each time drawn into the strange symmetry and subtle power it seemed to radiate. While skeptics might point to tricks of light, lens flares, or even coincidental shapes in cosmic dust, neither of them could shake the sense that this was different. The edges of the figure were too deliberate, its placement too central to be dismissed as chance. As the man shared the image online, responses varied from intrigue to outright disbelief. But among those who saw it, many agreed that it bore the hallmarks of the biblical descriptions they had read or heard about. For some, it was a sign of hope or reassurance. For others, it was a sobering reminder of forces that might watch over humanity from beyond the veil of the visible universe. In the days that followed, the man felt a quiet shift in his perspective. Looking at the night sky no longer felt like a distant gaze into empty space. It felt like peering into a vast and living expanse, one where unseen presences might dwell. The photograph, whether a divine encounter or a rare cosmic alignment, had changed the way he thought about existence. It was a reminder that there is still mystery in the world, that not everything can be measured, explained, or predicted. He kept the original unaltered image, along with the brightened version that revealed the angelic form. Both served as a personal testament to that strange and unforgettable night. To him, it was more than just a photograph. It was an encounter, a moment where the infinite brushed against the finite, leaving a subtle but indelible mark on his life. And so the image remains, a quiet yet profound reminder that perhaps the heavens hold more than stars and dust. Perhaps, just as ancient texts have said for thousands of years, there are watchers in the sky, beings of immense power and mystery, who, for reasons unknown, occasionally allow themselves to be seen. Astronomers discover Kipu, the single largest structure in the known universe. Astronomers have announced the extraordinary discovery of Kipu, a colossal cosmic structure that may now hold the title of the largest known formation in the universe. Stretching across an astonishing 1.3 billion light-years, this superstructure is composed of vast groupings of galaxy clusters and clusters of galaxy clusters. Containing an almost unimaginable 200 quadrillion times the mass of our Sun, Kipu has left scientists in awe, not only for its scale, but for its intricate and elegant structure. Named after the ancient Incan system of recording information with knots on cords, Kipu shares a remarkable visual and conceptual similarity with its namesake. Just as the Incan Kipu was formed from a primary cord with many branching strings, this cosmic Kipu consists of a single main filament that stretches across the universe, accompanied by numerous side filaments branching away. This vast formation dwarfs other well-known superstructures, including the Laniakea supercluster, which had previously been considered one of the largest structures in the cosmos. Measuring more than 13,000 times the length of the Milky Way, Kipu now stands as a new benchmark for the limits of cosmic architecture. The discovery, detailed in a paper accepted for publication in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics, began as part of a long-term project aimed at mapping the distribution of matter in the universe across different wavelengths of light. When astronomers mapped galaxy clusters in a specific redshift range, they found that Kipu immediately stood out as a prominent and coherent structure, one that could be identified visually on a sky map without any complex detection algorithms. The team focused their search on objects with redshifts between 0.3 and 0.6, corresponding to distances of approximately 425 million to 815 million light-years from Earth. This range allowed them to explore a region of the cosmos less thoroughly charted than nearby space, but still close enough for detailed observation. Kipu emerged as the most striking discovery in their data, with its colossal reach linking together numerous galactic realms into a single continuous structure. While Kipu now takes the crown for length, the discovery also revealed 4 other immense formations: the Serpens Corona Borealis superstructure, the Hercules supercluster, the Sculptor Pegasus superstructure, and the Shapley supercluster, which was once thought to be the largest of them all. Each of these formations contains enormous quantities of matter, galaxies, and galaxy clusters, but Kipu surpasses them in its sheer scale. Together, these 5 superstructures hold nearly half of all known galaxy clusters, nearly 1/3 of the galaxies, and 1/4 of all matter in the observable universe. They occupy about 13% of the total volume of the observable cosmos, underscoring the degree to which matter is not evenly distributed in space, but instead forms massive, interconnected webs. The enormity of Kipu also sparks important questions about the structure and evolution of the universe. Cosmologists have long known that galaxies are not randomly scattered, but are arranged into vast filaments, walls, and voids, a cosmic web shaped by gravity and the expansion of the universe. However, the size of Kipu challenges certain assumptions about the largest scales over which the universe should appear uniform. Some theoretical models suggest that beyond a certain size, cosmic structures should average out, making the discovery of something as massive and elongated as Kipu a potential puzzle for existing theories. Its name, chosen for its cultural and historical resonance, reflects the interconnected nature of this celestial formation. The Incas used Kipu cords to store vast amounts of information through an elegant network of knots and strings, and the cosmic Kipu similarly weaves together entire galaxies into a pattern that spans a significant fraction of the universe itself. This poetic parallel between human ingenuity and cosmic design is not lost on the scientists who made the discovery. The researchers also note that while Kipu is the largest confirmed structure in terms of length, even greater mysteries may lie farther out in the universe. For instance, the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, a proposed structure spanning an incredible 10 billion light-years, has been suggested as a contender for the true largest structure in the cosmos. However, its existence remains debated within the scientific community. In contrast, Kipu's detection is clear and consistent, thanks to the precision of modern sky surveys and the deliberate focus on the mid-range redshifts where it resides. What makes Kipu particularly compelling is not only its size, but also its visibility. The fact that it could be recognized so readily in the data, without the need for highly specialized analysis, underscores just how prominent it is in that region of the universe. This has led some astronomers to speculate that there may be other similarly large structures hidden in less studied regions of the sky, awaiting discovery with upcoming telescopes and advanced survey techniques. For the scientific community, the finding is both thrilling and humbling. It is a reminder that, even with decades of mapping and observation, the universe still holds surprises on a scale that can challenge our imagination. For the public, it is a powerful illustration of the vastness and beauty of the cosmos, a structure so immense that it makes even our galaxy, vast as it is, seem like a tiny bead on an endless cosmic cord. In the end, Kipu is more than just a collection of galaxies. It is a testament to the complexity of the universe and a beacon pointing toward future discoveries. As telescopes grow more advanced and surveys probe deeper into space, humanity may find even more extraordinary structures. But for now, Kipu stands as a monumental landmark in the cosmic landscape, the universe's own knotted cord, stretching across billions of light-years and binding together the farthest reaches of the visible cosmos. Scientists have just reported that a fast radio burst has been traced to the outskirts of an ancient graveyard galaxy, and the cause remains a mystery. Astronomers have traced a mysterious cosmic signal to one of the most unlikely places imaginable, the outskirts of an ancient galaxy that should have been dormant for billions of years. This galaxy, often described as a stellar graveyard, has long been thought to have exhausted its supply of gas and dust, the essential ingredients for creating new stars. Yet, despite its age and apparent inactivity, it has now been caught emitting fast radio bursts, or FRBs, powerful flashes of radio light capable of briefly outshining entire galaxies before vanishing in just a few milliseconds. These fast radio bursts are among the most puzzling phenomena in modern astronomy. They are incredibly energetic and fleeting, appearing without warning and disappearing almost instantly. While some fast radio bursts occur only once, others repeat, offering astronomers more opportunities to study them. Traditionally, they have been linked to regions of active star formation, where massive stars end their lives in cataclysmic explosions. Such environments, rich in stellar activity, are where astronomers expect to see these bursts. That is why this recent discovery challenges so many assumptions about how and where they can occur. The galaxy in question is estimated to be around 11 billion years old and has long been considered inactive. The vast majority of its stars have already lived and died, leaving behind dense remnants such as white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. Observations indicate that it has not produced significant new star formation in many billions of years. Yet between February and November of 2024, astronomers detected 22 repeating fast radio burst signals originating from its outer regions. These signals were captured by the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, a highly sensitive radio telescope array in British Columbia designed to survey the sky for exactly this type of phenomenon. The discovery was startling, not just because of the galaxy's age, but also because of the unusual location of the bursts. Fast radio bursts are most commonly found near the centers of galaxies, where dense stellar populations and dynamic environments can more easily create the extreme conditions thought to produce them. In this case, however, the bursts came from the galaxy's outskirts, a quieter, less populated region where such high-energy events are rarely observed. Researchers involved in the study have proposed several possible explanations for the bursts. One theory is that two ancient stars may have collided in this outer region, releasing a burst of energy strong enough to produce the observed fast radio bursts. Another possibility is that a white dwarf star, the dense remnant of a star that has burned through all its fuel, may have collapsed into an even denser object, triggering the bursts. Both scenarios could theoretically account for the event without requiring the birth of new stars, meaning the galaxy's dormant status might still hold true. What makes this finding so intriguing is that it expands the range of environments in which fast radio bursts can occur. Until now, the picture was relatively simple. They were most often linked to young star-forming galaxies. This new evidence, however, suggests that these bursts can also originate in places long thought incapable of producing them. The results force astronomers to reconsider their models and ask what other cosmic processes might be capable of generating such enormous bursts of energy. The team behind the discovery has emphasized the importance of continued monitoring. As more segments of CHIME's telescope array come online in the coming months, astronomers expect to detect hundreds more fast radio bursts. Each new burst can be traced back to its host galaxy, helping researchers build a more complete map of the different environments in which they occur. This will not only provide clues about their origins, but may also shed light on the larger cosmic processes that shape the universe. There is also the broader mystery of why fast radio bursts exist at all. Some scientists believe they could be linked to highly magnetized neutron stars known as magnetars, which can unleash enormous amounts of energy in short bursts. Others suggest they might be caused by interactions between compact objects, such as black holes or neutron stars, or even by entirely new astrophysical mechanisms yet to be discovered. In this case, the fact that the fast radio bursts came from a so-called graveyard galaxy makes the event even more compelling. It is a reminder that the universe often defies expectations and that seemingly quiet, ancient regions of space can still produce astonishing phenomena. It may also hint at processes in the life cycles of galaxies that are not yet fully understood, processes capable of unleashing bursts of energy billions of years after star formation has ceased. For the astronomers who worked on the study, the discovery is both a breakthrough and an invitation to explore further. By continuing to study these bursts, they hope to unravel the underlying physics behind them and perhaps even use them as tools to probe the large-scale structure of the universe. Fast radio bursts travel vast distances to reach us, passing through cosmic gas and dust along the way, and can therefore carry valuable information about the material they encounter. NASA plans to build a nuclear reactor on the Moon. The first space race was a contest of speed and symbolism, a race to place flags and footprints on the Moon to demonstrate technological achievement. Decades later, the act of simply landing there has lost its novelty. The new era of lunar exploration is not about brief visits, but about building a lasting presence, and the key to that vision is reliable, long-term power. In April of 2025, China announced ambitious plans to construct a nuclear power plant on the Moon by the year 2035 to support its envisioned International Lunar Research Station. The United States responded in August when acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy suggested that an American-built nuclear reactor could be operational on the lunar surface as early as the year 2030. While such announcements may seem sudden, these plans are the culmination of years of quiet development. Both NASA and the US Department of Energy have been working on compact, durable nuclear power systems designed to provide energy for lunar habitats, mining operations, and extended missions beyond Earth's orbit. From a legal and strategic perspective, this is not a weapons race, but an infrastructure race. In the realm of space exploration, infrastructure translates into influence. The nation that first constructs and operates a lunar nuclear reactor will not only gain a significant technological edge, but will also shape the operational norms and legal interpretations that will guide human activity on the Moon for decades to come. The idea of nuclear power in space is far from new. Since the 1960s, both the United States and the Soviet Union have used radioisotope thermoelectric generators to power deep space probes, satellites, and planetary rovers. These devices rely on the heat produced by the decay of radioactive materials to generate electricity and have powered missions like the Voyager spacecraft, the Curiosity rover, and the New Horizons probe. The United Nations principles, relevant to the use of nuclear power sources in outer space, adopted in 1992, recognized that nuclear energy could be essential for missions where solar power is insufficient. These principles are non-binding, but lay out important safety and transparency guidelines. Under current international law, nothing prohibits the peaceful use of nuclear power on the Moon. The key legal instrument, the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, ratified by all major spacefaring nations, affirms that space is the province of all humankind. Article 9 of the treaty requires nations to conduct their activities with due regard for the interests of other states and to consult internationally if their activities could potentially cause harmful interference. A nuclear reactor, especially one intended for long-term operation, would fall under this principle. The first nation to deploy such a system would not be claiming territory, but it would inevitably influence where and how other nations operate on the Moon. This influence becomes particularly significant in strategically valuable regions like the lunar South Pole. The South Pole's permanently shadowed craters hold water ice, a vital resource that can be used for drinking water, breathable oxygen, and even rocket fuel. Any major infrastructure built in this region, including a nuclear power plant, would effectively anchor a long-term presence and potentially limit access by others, not through legal ownership, but through practical necessity. Some critics may express concern over radiation or environmental hazards, and while these are valid considerations, the United Nations guidelines outline stringent safety measures to reduce such risks. Properly designed and managed, a lunar reactor could operate for a decade or more, providing steady, reliable energy for life support systems, manufacturing processes like 3D printing, scientific instruments, and rovers exploring the surrounding terrain. The reason nuclear power is so attractive for lunar operations lies in the Moon's challenging environment. The lunar day lasts roughly 14 Earth days, followed by 14 days of darkness. In many shadowed craters, sunlight never reaches the surface. For solar power systems, this creates extended periods without energy production, requiring massive and costly storage solutions. Nuclear power bypasses this limitation, offering continuous output regardless of sunlight conditions. This reliability is critical not only for the Moon, but also for future missions to Mars, where dust storms and greater distance from the Sun make solar power even less dependable. From a governance standpoint, the United States has the opportunity to lead by example. By committing to transparency, consulting with other nations as required by the Outer Space Treaty, and reinforcing the peaceful nature of its lunar reactor project, it can set a cooperative precedent. Sharing operational data, inviting international collaboration, and adhering to best safety practices could encourage others to follow suit, rather than adopt secretive or competitive approaches. The future of the Moon will not be determined by the number of flags planted, but by the permanence and utility of the structures established there. A nuclear reactor represents more than a source of power. It is a cornerstone of sustainable human activity. Its presence would enable long-term habitation, resource extraction, and scientific research, all while serving as a testbed for technologies that will one day support missions to Mars and beyond. Ultimately, the deployment of a nuclear reactor on the Moon is not an act of claiming territory or escalating conflict. It is the construction of critical infrastructure that will define the next phase of human exploration. In this new space era, influence will be exercised not through symbolic gestures, but through the ability to build, operate, and maintain the systems that make life and work possible in the harshest environments. NASA astronomers find new signs of a giant gas planet using the James Webb Telescope. Astronomers using NASA's James Webb Space Telescope have announced what could be one of the most exciting nearby planetary discoveries in recent years. By studying the Alpha Centauri star system, the closest stellar neighbors to our Sun, they have found strong evidence of a giant gas planet orbiting Alpha Centauri A. Situated just 4 light-years from Earth, the Alpha Centauri system has long captured the interest of scientists searching for other worlds, given its relative proximity and its similarities to our own solar system. The Alpha Centauri system is made up of 3 stars: Alpha Centauri A, Alpha Centauri B, and Proxima Centauri. Alpha Centauri A and B form a binary pair of Sun-like stars, while Proxima Centauri, a faint red dwarf, orbits the two from a much greater distance. Astronomers have already confirmed 3 planets orbiting Proxima Centauri, one of which lies in the star's habitable zone. However, proving the existence of planets around Alpha Centauri A or B has been a long-standing challenge due to the brightness and close proximity of the two main stars. Now, thanks to the advanced capabilities of the James Webb Space Telescope's mid-infrared instrument, scientists have captured what they believe to be the clearest signs yet of a gas giant circling Alpha Centauri A. These findings have been presented in 2 papers accepted by the astrophysical journal Letters. The potential planet, while located in the habitable zone of its sun-like star, would not be suitable for life as we know it because of its composition. Gas giants, much like Jupiter or Saturn, lack a solid surface and tend to have extreme atmospheric conditions.